I'm sorry, Andrew Weissman, but if I recall correctly, in 2018, you were one of the people who helped write the Mueller report, and you all botched the hell out of that.
And never in my wildest dreams would I have thought we would be here. I thought we were better as a country.
Oh, yeah.
Like all these sites that have been around for creating videos and all that, like text stock videos, they're done.
But that's why Canva was one of the first to get into doing AI.
What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I am the host of Epic Conversations. 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, I've been blessed and highly favored to reach out. Well, part of the team. The teams reach out to over 300,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers. Actually, not 300,000. It's 400,000. My correction, 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. Thank you. Also, I am a member of the advisory board for a lovely platform called Indie Suit Media, that is powered by our good friend Dr. Tachi out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And it has now over 32 content creators, and in 4 months, 14,000 YouTube subscribers. So that's a beautiful thing. So as always, we want to thank Dr. Tachi for giving us a place on that platform. As always, Primetime Saturday Show store. There is the link. Here is Patreon for exclusive content. And thank you, ladies, for pushing back your 10 at 10 to do this. 10 at 10. And then also join the Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. And also, too, the YouTube channel of mine is, we're 30 subscribers away from 1,500. So if you are up to it, please become a subscriber. And also follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And then to advertise your business product or service on the platform, please email me dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Let's get to our first conversation piece.
Allergies. Oh,
no problem. It's okay. It's okay. This, though it happened a few weeks ago, is still continuing. Swiss Beats and Timberland strike versus distribution deal with Elon Musk's X.
Trash.
Dumb.
It's something that we created, and like, why? How is it that every time we create something and we want to go and market it and make it bigger, that we have to go begging to people who hate us? Elon Musk hates the out of Black people. And if he has not proven it in any other way, he's proven it by how he does not monitor X. I tweeted this yesterday. Any person of color within 3 minutes of going on Twitter, you are going to face some kind of racist attack at some point within 3 minutes of entering the platform. That just is what it is. He does not do any kind of protecting of Black people. So why on earth would you get into business with a man who, you know what? This serves them right. I hope he steals it from them.
He's going to, but that's what his whole business model is. He's never created anything on his own. He's always stepped in with the money. So, but this is his pattern. So he's going to do the same with them. And they're going to they're going to come out and say how they got screwed on this deal.
Yeah. Yeah. They will have no ownership over anything because Elon Musk doesn't do, he doesn't do fair deals. But again, what would you expect from men that sign 360 deals their whole careers?
Exactly.
Well, one of the things I was reading this week that there are a number of people who are very anti this deal, like Roland Martin, etc. And I just saw a story showing the timeline, and Swiss Beats is saying, well, you're on X, so what are you talking about? See that a number of Black people are on X, and some of the people who are Black are protesting or against this deal by saying, hold on a second, you're on this platform, so why are you shading me?
It's one thing to be on the platform, which is free to be on. It's another thing to enter into a business deal and to look for that man to feed you.
That right there.
That's the difference.
I'm on it. I can't stand
I'm
it.
not begging Elon Musk for scraps. And the bottom line is, if I don't want to be on Twitter, I don't have to be on Twitter. Period. Point blank. Period. Okay.
And by the way, now he's trying to float back and think he's going to start switching back the name again. Y'all, this is how stupid he is. He's floating out there, knew that should we change our name back to Twitter? You better bet somebody probably sued his butt. And now he's thinking, maybe I should go back to the name Twitter.
Yeah. Well, now because X is not catching on, and he's out here hoeing blue checks. Yeah. Everybody and their mama got a blue check now.
Well, let me ask. Do you see even the business side of Timberland and Swiss Beats doing this? The business part of it? Okay,
why can't he go to what's his name? Byron.
Right, Byron Allen.
Byron Allen wanted to buy BET. Okay?
He's got the resources. He's got the reach. He's a smart black businessman.
Exactly. Why couldn't they go to Magic Johnson? Magic Johnson be owning all kinds of movie theaters and stuff. Why couldn't they go to the guy who paid all the student debt for all the that
Morehouse? Yes. Robert F. Smith.
Yes, of Morehouse. Why couldn't he go to him? No, they went to Elon Musk because they are clout chasing. They think that Elon Musk means status. They think that because he's quote unquote the richest man in the world, that they're gonna be the richest men in the world too. They could have gone to Jay-Z for that matter. You want to go to a black billionaire? They could have gone to Oprah.
Exactly.
They could have gone to the Obamas. My God, the Obamas got their own production company.
Yeah, so this reeks. And you know what? We're seeing the backlash from it. The black communities don't like this at all. No. And I think they're going to be very surprised at just how many people are like, yeah, no, bros, we're not doing it.
No. And the thing is that they forget how organically this grew during COVID. Okay. Before white people were jumping on the bandwagon, it was black communities bored at home watching this and sharing it and sharing it and sharing it. You know, the one person who grew his thing out of the pandemic that did not violate his code of ethics, D-Nice.
Yeah.
Because remember, he at the same time that they were doing verses, he was doing his dance parties. D-Nice went and got his own brand of scotch.
Sure did.
Or bourbon. And he ain't going to no Elon Musk to do it. He used whatever money he generated from being able to do shows and stuff after the pandemic. And he reinvested his money into his own stuff. See, here's the thing. Timberland and Swiss, it's not like they don't have money of their own they could have invested in this. That's the other thing that gets me. They really didn't have to go to other people. They've got so much clout in the music business. They really didn't have to go to other people. They didn't have to go to Elon Musk. That's the other thing that I don't understand. Why didn't they take their own money and reinvest it in their work if they're so proud of it?
I literally cringed when I saw that. I won't be supporting it.
Oh, no. Just like
I think people short term are up their arts, long term they'll forget about it.
Oh, yeah.
That's typically the way that it goes. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. So
but here's the other thing: they're trying to do this also now. What, 4 years after it was hot?
Yeah, it's a little too late.
And that's probably why they need an Elon Musk to fund it.
I agree.
Elon Musk
here want to revive it. They're going to revive it with money.
Elon Musk out here dancing like he doesn't have the sense God gave a tick with his shirt on backwards, and nobody told him. Did you see that?
And let's not forget this. I mean, I want people to remember this too. Don't forget, he is fighting against ChatGPT, OpenAI, because they won't do what he wants them to do. And you better bet he's going to find a way to use all of the stuff that they're going to do with this into his AI platform. We're past danger, Will Robinson. We're past that, because there's a lot of things that are going on in the music industry that now artists are not going to have their own voice anymore. And
Drake is an AI Tupac.
Yep.
I heard that today. I was like, what?
No, yeah. Drake did it. And guess who spoke out about it? Y'all? Sheryl Crow. She said it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And I actually love that she spoke out about it.
You know, and that's what I feel like. You feel like you're the Harriet Tubman of the mind.
I am.
I feel like I'm one of the Harriet Tubmans of intelligent Black people. Like, I want to liberate y'all from like being left behind and ignored and oblivion. No, really, the rappers get all the attention. You know, seriously, does anybody else feel this way? Like ignorant Black people, they'll be all up, you know, getting all the headlines on the Shade Room.
Overly sexualized Black folks.
Like the twerkers and the, you know, just people that, you know, don't always represent the best of us, you know, the diversity, you know, like people like Dr. Vibe. Like, everybody should know about people like Dr. Vibe. Dr.
Really
Vibe he's trying to do good work for Black people. Dr. Vibe from Toronto. Good to see you, my brother. Dr. Vibe. Everybody follow Dr. Vibe. He has a great show. He's very good at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him. The men who are also doing the same thing. I see Dr. Vibe in here. He's a great brother. Everybody should follow Dr. Vibe, by the way. He's a smart brother in Canada, and we need to follow smart people. So follow Dr. Vibe if you see him in the chat. And Dr. Vibe, say your name in the chat so people can see you. I want you to click on his name, and I want you to go follow him, please, because I want these men and women that are doing the right things to get the support they deserve. Hey, Dr. Vibe, how you doing, brother? Again, like I always do, I gotta say everybody should go follow Dr. Vibe. He's got a great show. Dr. Vibe, I know Dr. Vibe's got a kingdom because I see your channel. I see you pouring into that every day. Everybody should follow Dr. Vibe, by the way. Look him up, Dr. Vibe, Vibe. He's a great friend of me and my wife, and I love this guy. Okay, so let me hop into this. What's up, Dr. Vibe? How you doing? Everybody, if you see Dr. Vibe in the chat, everybody go follow the Dr. Vibe show. Dr. Vibe is a real smart brother and a good human being. I like the guy a lot, and he's very intelligent. And I think everyone should pay attention to what he's got going on. We got to shine the spotlight on the intelligent Black people out here that are really doing the good work. Don't just pay attention to the rappers and the celebrities. You know, a lot of these people are losers. Your true winners are your people in your community that are really having your back. You know, helping us to have stronger families and a stronger community. So Dr. Vibe is in that category. So you might see the Dr. Vibe show in this chat. If you see him, please go follow him. Okay. All right. So anyway.
45 says because he has Black friends, he can't be racist.
There's a couple.
That's what everybody falls back on. That's all. I can't be racist. I have.
He literally said the "I have Black friends" thing. Like, literally said it.
Yeah, that's bull honky.
Okay, here's the thing.
Are you kidding me? His Black friends are Representative Byron Donalds, Senator Tim Scott, Ben Carson, and Clarence Thomas. Those are his so-called tap dancing friends.
Here's the thing. Do you have Black friends or associates? Because your friends, do they come to your house? Do you hang out with them on weekends? Not people that just come to have photo ops. You went to a whole Black church and filled it with white people. I never seen anything like that before. Where were all your Black friends if you have Black friends? And let me just tell you something. There is an entire collection of TikTok videos of biracial children with white mothers who talk about their mothers being racist.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
You can have Black children and be racist. There is that couple that adopted Black children and kept them like slaves.
In a barn.
They're talking about this in the barn with a bucket for them to go to the bathroom, and we're treating them like slaves. Okay. So yes, you can have Black friends and be racist. It's not just about having people stand next to you in blackface. It's about the things you do. You called for the murder of 5 children.
Yes.
Even after DNA exonerated them, you still wanted them put in prison and killed.
Yes.
would not rent. You were sued because you would not rent to Black people. And then when you were forced to, you wanted them to use the back door, like this was some Jim Crow 1955 Mississippi South. Okay. So don't give me this crap. You had zero policies. Don't talk about, oh, I did the most for Black people. You had zero policies designed specifically for Black people. And if anybody up in my comments on Twitter or anywhere else has anything to say, go back 2 shows ago. I went down the whole list of all the policies that he did by executive order, which was 1, and he just kept repeating it, and it was an unfunded policy just to promote excellence among HBCUs, which excellence is kind of our thing. So
we don't need his help with that.
And the hundreds that Joe Biden has done. So you know what, dude, get out of my face with that. Can't be racist because I got Black friends. You don't have Black friends, because if you really did have Black friends, a Black friend would have told you, you need to stop it with that haircut, dude. You need to stop making all those faces because it makes you look ugly. Dude, get some pore minimizer before you go talking about how other people look. Dude.
Or take a bath.
No way, because the American people know the difference. Dude, you're rich. Get a tailored suit. I mean, come on. Your real Black friends are going to tell you the truth. Because Black people,
and don't forget, y'all, there is proof that it's not out there. They've got it on tape. He was calling people the N-word, all sorts of N-words on The Apprentice.
Yep. So
that ain't your friend.
With the hard R, okay?
Just trying to say.
So then both of you think that Mr. 45's statements are ridiculous, but then why do a number of African Americans support him and consider him a friend?
You know why?
Well, you know what? A lot of that also goes back to him doing those books. Remember those books in the 80s and the 90s, Aisha? Like for some reason, Black people grabbed onto it. Hey, look, you know, we all are Prince fans here, right? Listen, the Time even has a song called Donald Trump Black Version, which they ain't even performing no more because they know better.
Yeah. And actually, Jill told me it was actually supposed to be a parody anyway. So I guess
the books like The Art of the Deal. The books like Art of the Deal.
Yeah, and
everybody keeps referencing him on that.
Yeah, it's like remember those books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or Rich Dad.
Yeah.
They kind of had that feel of them. And so Black people were buying these books in the 80s thinking that they could take these tips and then become rich just like Donald Trump. Donald Trump was this standard of wealth for people, particularly in the New York City area, in the tri-state area. He was the standard of wealth. Meanwhile, while and a lot of it had to do with things, put it this way, he was the standard of wealth, but a lot of it was manufactured because remember, he was calling up lifestyles of the rich and famous and asking them to put him on the show. He was calling up Forbes and telling them, oh, Donald Trump is worth this much so that he could get on these lists. He was inflating, he was feeding the lie.
And don't forget the crazy movie, like, you know, what is that, Home Alone? Yeah, he wouldn't allow them to film in that
he had
movie unless he had a role.
Yeah. And he would do that a lot. And then remember the casinos. Casinos are also considered things of wealth. Think about this. There are a lot of Native American owned casinos in Connecticut, right? People tend to think that because of that the Native American populations therefore are very wealthy, and they're not. But people attach wealth to casinos because it's all the bright lights and the money popping around. Remember, he had all those casinos, even though he bankrupted them all, but he had all those casinos in Atlantic City. And the other thing is that he also made that look. Why do you think everything around him is gold?
Yeah,
because gold is that symbol of money. Remember, back before we went to virtual money, gold was backed by greenbacks were backed by gold. And so he inflated this image of wealth. And for a people that didn't have very many people to look up to in terms of that amount of wealth, because this is pre-Oprah, he was that standard of wealth.
And, you know, everybody wants to manifest something in their life that's better, but he really stood behind a serious smokescreen of everything about. We all know the backstory now. We know about all the bankruptcies. We know about all the shiznick that went on with the buildings and the real estate and all that stuff, and how he was really draining those casinos and all that stuff. But for some reason, people don't want to embrace the fact that he was a liar, and they still want to believe that they can do these things too. Well, you don't need Trump to do these things. If you really want it, you can have it. You don't need him to be in your way.
And here's the thing. He blew this image up so much, and it wasn't just the fact that we saw the image. Guess who else bought into that image? Trump did, because he looks in the mirror and he looks at himself and he still sees 1984 Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You can't tell. I swear to God, I say this to my daughter every time he gets on and talks about how good looking he is. You can't tell that man he's not fine. Looking like somebody's old, like 92-year-old grandma.
Honestly, and you know, that's funny, but it's not funny at the same time, because he honestly does see himself that way.
He looks like a white version of James Brown.
Never heard that comparison before. Before you go any further, I want to shout out to Christy White. Thanks for watching on Facebook. Good to hear and see you, Christy White. But he must have some black friends.
I told you who they were. I told you who they were.
No. Because here's the thing: Donald Trump doesn't have any friends.
Let's
be
none
clear.
at all.
He is probably one of the loneliest men alive, and I say alive because both Prince and Michael Jackson are dead, and I believe that they were two of the loneliest men alive. He is probably one of the loneliest men alive because he doesn't have any real and true friends. Everyone who's around him pretending to be a friend wants the approximation and proximity to power.
Let's go to our next conversation topic. A very interesting one. U.S. Surgeon General calls for warning labels on social media platforms.
I mean, this is no different. Remember, 40 years ago, Purple Rain came out and Tipper Gore got her panties in a bunch over Darling Nikki and formed the Parent Resource Center, and they went on a rampage, and we got what was called the Tipper sticker, the Parent Advisory sticker. This is no different. And I'm sorry, but I actually think that social media is a bit more harmful than the music was. The music, you actually had to use your imagination. These videos are just not, they're not just videos on that demoralize people's self-esteem and are racist and show fighting and gun violence and all that stuff. People have literally murdered people on Facebook Lives. Remember, they got rid of like the Facebook Live function for a while because that guy went and like just walked up to a guy and shot him
live. And that's not the only case. There are many other cases that have been absolutely horrendous. In this case, I think it is justified. Do I feel like these warning things help? I really don't, because Aisha, I don't know about you, but I was able to get everything they had that little warning stick now. My mother didn't know nothing about that.
I mean, I was 9 years old listening to Head in my headphones. I knew better. I mean, but you know, but guess what? Music was the only thing that we had at that point. Our kids have so much more access to things, and it really becomes about, I think the access to social media and technology and everything has gotten such that it's so far out of the box, out of the can. The can's been opened and everything's out. It's like the tube's out, all the toothpaste is out of the tube. You can't put it back. I mean, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Put do the fingerprint scan like you can do to open your phone, and then what do you do? That's like Big Brother, because then the government has to have a record of everybody's fingerprint, and then they can use that to police. And then there's the cases of mistaken identity and all. It just
shows you how out of touch they are with how easy this is. You can't put this back. You're not going to be able to put this back. You're not going to be able to put AI back. It's out.
They're 30 years too late behind the 8 ball in terms of monitoring this. When we first started when the internet first started, when people first started doing these chat rooms, is when they should have started regulating, like when they had the old Black Planet. And I mean, when MySpace got really popular, that's when they should have been like, okay, no, we really need to nail this down, because
Napster, they never were able to get that back together.
Right.
It was
once Napster came out, it was and they didn't regulate then. It's like the musicians were telling them, hey, we're going to lose money. We're going to not be able to charge. And look where we are now. How all you have to do is just buy a streaming service. You're not buying the actual tracks anymore. And so, at least,
and you don't even have that, guys. You don't even have to subscribe. If you're willing to sit through some ads, you don't.
On YouTube Music, yeah. It's like, and artists are, remember, at least back in the day, you used to have to buy a track for like $1.29 or whatever. You don't even do that anymore. So they are, and this is part of our Congress and our legislatures being so old.
Don't even know.
Old and out of touch. Okay.
They may have accounts, but there's some young one back there keeping that account going.
Right. And AI, they're 20 years behind on this. There were talks about some of this kind of stuff being a possibility 20 years ago.
Yep.
So there's no way to regulate this. Not only that, but during the 2016 election, when people were saying you need to regulate, the campaigns were saying you need to start regulating these social media things so that they're not putting out this misinformation, this disinformation. And the government said, okay, we want to do this and we'll hold these hearings. And then the social media company said, yeah, we're not doing that. And the government was like, okay, what?
Yeah, that's it.
No, you hit them with taxes. You hit them with regulations. Tax them to death, to the point that they relent. Because guess what? Guess what they do to the rest of us when we don't comply? They tax us. They tack on fees.
Yeah.
We get punished. We get punished by fees. Look, your rent's late, you get a fee. Your car payment's late, you get a fee. We punish people with fees.
I think that it's too little too late. You've got kids and you've got parents actually pushing accounts of kids because they know that kids can bring money in. There is one that comes to my mind right now, drives me absolutely batty. It's a beautiful biracial girl. The white mommy pushes her and really wants her, and she has actually been shown sometimes like I don't want to do this, and then you can hear her getting mad in the background. She actually went live one time while her little girl was crying because she didn't want to go online. But see, they equivalent that to money. So you're going to have a battle with this, and you're too little, too late. And although I think it should have happened, it's too late now.
Yeah, the people before. When people could start, when it became monetizable for people, is when they should have known there's nothing you can do at this point. People make actual livings, 6-figure livings on their social media.
And that's what everybody's striving for.
Oh. Well, it's going to be interesting because I think the more we, like up here in Toronto area, we have 3 or 4 different school boards suing platforms like Meta, Google, etc., because they're saying that they're it's too distracting in the classroom.
Go for it.
Well, there's several school districts here that are requiring students to when they come into school, put their cell phones in envelopes, that they can't have cell phones in the classrooms because it's too distracting. And I noticed something like last night, my daughter's in grad school. My daughter was studying, but I was like, it's taking her an awful long time to do this assignment. And I was in grad school. When I was in grad school, didn't have cell phone. So I go in my room, close the door, turn on some prints, and do my work and pound through it. And I said to her, I said, the same way that high school doesn't prepare you for college, well, college doesn't prepare you for graduate school. You might want to just turn your cell phone off, get the work done, knock it out, and then go back to your phone. But with the constant interruptions, it's going to take you. This generation, they can't rationalize that it takes you a longer amount of time to get something done through interruptions than it does if you just put the interruption away, get the work done and out the way, then go back to whatever it was that you wanted to go back to. We grew up in that generation where it's like, okay, you know what? If I do this first, get this out the way, I have more time to do what I want to do.
I was taught it was called eat the elephant. Eat the elephant. Do the elephant first, and then everything else will fall into place. And I've lived by that. Always put the hardest task first.
Yeah. And not only do you have more time to do what you want to do, you get to doing what you want to do faster. And so we're just at a point right now where what the U.S. Surgeon General can call for all he wants to, but it's not, there's nothing that can be done.
The tech companies have too much power. Come on. And even probably crazier. I pretty crazy. Probably all the representatives sitting in the House and the Senate, how many have received donations from tech companies? And also they rely on them for their campaigns.
Exactly.
But not only that, but the average age of the House and the Senate is 68. Like Nancy Pelosi.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you about an average representative having any sort of understanding of social media?
Exactly. But we saw this with TikTok. They didn't even know what to call it.
TikTok.
That's classic. TikTok. America. Well, we'll see if anything. And again, this story is sort of faded away, right? It's like, no, but I know there's, pardon me?
Already faded. Yep.
Yeah, it's like gone and done. It's such an important story. It is such an important story. All right, let's move on to our next conversation piece.
Y'all Internet to bribe these guys with puppy treats so they can stay quiet.
All right, the internet confuses people over U.S. military draft change. You brought this one up, Lala. Talk to us.
I did, because there is a lot of misconception. There's a lot of truth behind the things that we should know as well. But once again, the media puts things out to make you enraged. What you need to understand is our young men have always had to sign up for the military selective service at the age of 18. The only difference of this is they want to go back and make it electronic. So you're automatically signed up at the age of 18. Now, okay, so people are starting to confuse that. Oh God, never making us sign up. Well, that's always been there for a long time. So don't get confused about that. But there are things in here that you really should be paying attention to, because they now have put other garbage into this. So not only they're going to go in and they're going to automatically go back to the systems and enroll everybody who was 18, meaning the men, they were trying to put forth where they'll also do women. And so, you have people not realizing that. Now they are jumping on saying, well, yeah, no, they're trying to make the women do it. But there were a couple other things in this, guys. There was some other things about the abortion, not being able to get an abortion if you're in the military, and not giving any kind of care to those who are transgender or is raising a transgender child. So here's what I want you to understand. While you're being outraged about this, that's something that, pretty much was already there. they're blowing more smoke behind it and making you angry over the major headline while you're missing the point of what's coming in underneath it. You need to understand everything that they are doing is trying to put something behind it and putting a mirror up so that you're so outraged about one thing that you're missing the point behind it. And that is why I really wanted to talk about that today.
And there was one other thing that they had also put in there that concerned me, because I called my sister about it, and my sister was like, well, no, they always had this. I said, no, this is one thing. They put that, the college exception, they got rid of it, because at one point during Vietnam and afterwards, they had the exception that even if you were registered for the selective service, which you have to do to get student loans, period, or any kind of financial aid in the United States, if you were in college, you were exempted from the draft. That exception is gone here.
Yeah.
But is the draft still even viable in the U.S.? Are there still people that are getting drafted?
Well,
like I'm out in the woods on this, so you two can educate me on this.
Well, here's the thing: the Republican Party, the first thing they're going to want to do when if they get in charge, is start a war. But there's one thing that we have to note: because of the crappy way that we've treated our military, that the Republican Party has not fully funded the things that our military family has needed. And remember what Tuberville did in holding up the promotions. The number of enlistments in our military has drastically dropped. So therefore, if we go into one of their frivolous wars, they would need to enlist a draft because they wouldn't have the people. Especially, and remember, as in the last 20 some odd years, the U.S. hasn't gotten into wars that have lasted less than 20 some odd years.
Right.
We're going to close out today on a very serious note. First, like there's a story a little while back, about a week or so ago, Justin Timberlake got arrested for DUI. And Lala is very passionate about this. And if you do not follow her on the socials, you should. But it's been a challenging week for Lala in many ways. And I bless her for sharing her story and the story of her sisters with us. So Lala, Todd, I guess first Justin Timberlake's story, and then if you want to go any deeper, depending on how much energy you have, I think it's very important for all of us who are watching live or listening on the replay or watching the replay to know about this. So I turn it over to you.
Well, you're hearing more and more of these stories. Justin Timberlake is not the only one. He just happens to be the one that they're spotlighting at the moment. As I was scrolling my social media and posting my social media about the deaths of my sisters, I came across two other cases, and one of them is the violinist of the Dave Matthews Band, who also was arrested for drunk driving. This is really no excuse. With today's world of Uber and all these other places that you can get home to, or calling a friend or someone taking your keys, there should be no tolerance whatsoever for driving under the influence or driving distractedly. It's such a simple thing that you can stop and not do. And I also charge people who are around you, if they see that you are fried, they need to step in, no matter how angry they may be at you, and take those keys away. There is no excuse for Justin Timberlake to do what he did. And if you look at a lot of his videos from that event that he was at that night, he was completely fried. And he keeps saying that he only had one martini, but I might remind you of this. Many of these martinis are 4 and 5 times more potent than what they used to be a very long time ago. This isn't your Dean Martin martini. This is your new age martini with everything in it, and the more potent, the better. So one drink can take you over the legal limit. So what is going to happen with Justin Timberlake? Well, he'll get a slap on the wrist. Because why? It is now being shown that most DUI cases and driving under the influence, you have to literally have about 8 charges before they decide they're going to throw you in prison or give you certain time. You can drive under the influence and get away with it forever, and then get slapped again. Okay, this time we're going to take your license. Okay, well, who's policing me? Nobody. Unless I get caught again, I can get behind the wheel. So my simple message is just don't do it. I know that that sounds simple, but even if you have one drink and you say, I feel fine, I really don't think you need to be driving with any kind of keys. I literally went to an event the other day and it was called a paint and sip. Guess who did not drive? Because I knew that I was going to have a glass of wine, and I knew that I am a lightweight and I can't handle one glass of wine and drive. So I knew that that was something that I was going to do. So I made arrangements ahead of time. It's simple as that. Just don't do it, because not only are you risking your life, you are risking the lives of others. Let me tell you about this case that just happened in Mississippi. Just happened as I'm fighting for justice for my sisters. This lady, 32 years old, decided that she was going to be an idiot and get inebriated. She drove down I-55 in Mississippi the wrong way. She hit about 5 or 6 cars, and before her car stopped, she killed a lady who was just driving on the way home. And so they locked her up and they let her out for a bond of $250,000. She killed one person, but she hurt a lot of others. Look who's still walking around, because when you are a drinker, typically your body is loose. So when you slam into something, your body is more likely to be more loose and limber than the person that you're going to hit, because they're bracing for the impact. I cannot tell you just how much this has torn me apart this week to hear about that, because I have new developments in the case of my sisters that I am just now being able to get my hands on. There should not be a reason that I hadn't been updated on my sister's case, because it happened on January the 15th, 2023. The young lady pleaded not guilty. She is being protected by her family who is in law enforcement. She is being prosecuted by the Mississippi Jacksonville DA, who her father worked for. So you can't tell me that this case is not compromised. And she's also working for the attorney that is representing her. Tell me where the justice is. And I told you that they put that one lady away for $250,000 bond, right? This girl got out, unaliving 2 people, killed 2 people, and her bond was $75,000. That is all. Guys, it's not worth it. And to continue to fight and try your best to get attention to this matter while you're feeling defeated. No one wants to pick up the story. Everything is in the past because other things are more important. No one thinks that drinking and driving isn't important anymore. However, my family and many other families are fighting for justice for their losses. Where are we? Where is our voice? Just don't do it. It's such a simple thing. Just like, you got to get up and take a breath in the morning. Just know that you need to make plans to never drink and drive.
You know what, Lala? I am thankful for you for sharing that. I saw all of your Instagram posts and the strength it takes to do that. I was really shocked, actually, when I saw your post, and then right under it, I saw another post that someone shared, and I actually shared it because it bothered me that people, when they decided to make drinking and driving illegal, people were like, you're not going to tell me I can't drink and drive. I was just stunned that the attitude toward the law, when they made the law back in the early 80s, that people were just like, you mean this is communism, we should be able to drink and drive? What are you talking about? I mean, you know what? For the longest time, I don't drink and go out. If I'm going to drink, I'm drinking at home.
Yeah.
I am wherever I am going to drink is where I'm staying, because I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to hurt anyone else. On holiday nights, I always make sure to get home before it gets, dark, because I'm worried. I am terrified about that happening, because I remember when some kids, when I was in middle school, but these high school kids went out on a night drinking and driving, and they missed a sign that said the bridge was out.
Yep.
And they drove their car over the bridge. This is as much of an epidemic in our country as gun violence.
Yes.
And we need to
because everything is centered around that. If you go to a party, what do? You drink. If you go to someone's house, you're drinking. It's part of the party. It's become instilled into our everyday life that, oh girl, we're going to have the party thing. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what time of day, because don't forget, mimosas are served at breakfast, and you can just be just as high coming home from breakfast.
And I might want to add too that DUI also too, as more states legalize marijuana, it's not just drinking. Don't drive high either, because that is also something that we have commercials now here in Connecticut that also consider DUI. They do the DUI with the drinking and driving high in one commercial, because it is also considered a DUI.
And here's a little thing that I learned is that in Mississippi, they call it aggravated DUI, but it's the same as other states that call manslaughter. Each state is different. And so some people are angry by saying, like, why are they only charging her with aggravated DUI? Well, it pretty much is the same as other states. However, Mississippi is one of the states that have the more lenient laws toward drunk driving. And if you kill someone, and you get convicted, you only get 5 to 20 years per person. If you even get to that point. There's only one poignant case where one gentleman killed 2 people, and they gave him 50 years only to serve. They give him 30 years because, they take all time. We're talking legal time. But that is an extremely rare instance. Let me tell you, because there's so many different ways to get these people off, we're allowing these lenient laws. This girl is now, and I'm not afraid to speak out. I don't care. You can come after me with both barrels. I don't care. Catch me outside. All right. This girl has now put in a motion to throw out that she was intoxicated when she came in at 0.18 over the legal limit. And so they're saying, well, the breathalyzer, there's something wrong with the breathalyzer, so we want to throw that out. There are ways that people can get around this and get their time lessened or thrown out. I refuse to let this happen. I am going to scream bloody murder. I have wrote so many congressmen. I don't even know who I wrote now. I have to keep a running list. I've contacted as many media outlets that I can. And a lot of the times they're saying, well, that's not really a big story.
Lala, if she wants to, you know what? Throw out the fact that you were drunk. Even worse than you hit and killed 2 people sober.
Yeah, exactly.
But guess what that is? That's murder.
Yes, it is. It is.
Why is there a lack of proactive measures when it comes to dealing with these situations from the legal aspect and the political aspect?
It's America. We love our liquor and our guns.
There you go.
And then go to church on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same level of thought and mentality about guns. You're not going to take away our right to do whatever we want to do. And as long as we have that, nothing will change. For a while there, people were getting prosecuted for drunk driving. Stars were talking about it. There were songs being written about DUI. There were articles, right? And Stevie Wonder. I mean, Stevie Wonder did a really good one. Yeah. But who remembers that? Right. Yeah, we're over that now, because now we're in this generation of party, what all I can do. And drinking is the lesser thing, because there's more things out there like fentanyl and the zombie drugs and all those. So now alcohol seems like, oh, well, that's just a little
with a little oomph.
And I'm going to take this to another level too, because
too, though, Dr. Vibe, in the United States, a majority of shootings involve alcohol.
Well, even too, look at how many, especially African American males, do commercials for alcohol. The most watched person on the internet is who? Who's the he did a video early on this year that's been the most watched video in YouTube history.
Who? I'm speechless too. I'm like,
Shannon Sharp. When you watch his program,
that's right, his show. All they do is the first thing they do is pour liquor.
Yes.
So
you know what? That just went right over my head.
So look at a number
and Drink Champs, the show Drink Champs. And then there's the show Drunk History.
Take a watch. How many liquor brands have African American men promoting their product?
But you know,
and that's one of the 4 vices that sink a lot of men.
But I believe that we can get past this, because you know what we used to have in the 90s that we don't have anymore? In the 80s and the 90s? They don't promote malt liquor.
No.
On TV. That they used to do in Soul Train. Billy D. Williams was good for promoting Colt 45.
Yes, Colt 45 commercials.
They also do cigarette commercials too.
Yeah.
So I think that if they can do that, we can do it, I think. But again, our neighborhoods are flooded with liquor stores.
Yep.
And pawn shops.
Churches, all right beside each other.
Actually, it's very interesting. I haven't talked to her in a long time. I can't remember the lady's name. She's an expert when it comes to advertising, when it comes to African Americans. And I reached out to her a few years ago and I said, like, if I wanted to get sponsorship, where would I go? And the first thing she said, liquor companies.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing she said. I'm forgetting her name. Pepper Miller. That's her name, Pepper Miller. She's an expert in regards to sponsorship and consumer marketing to African Americans. They say, yeah, the traditional, the vices.
Yeah.
And like I said, now, go ahead.
They pay a lot, because as I was searching for communications roles, there were tons of them for liquor companies, and they're paying out they're paying out the mouth for people to promote the product. It's ridiculous.
Again, a lot of those people consume it, they drive.
Yeah.
And again, I'll be interested to hear, Lala, if any of these government representatives respond to what you have to say, or if they have, what have they responded?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And the thing is, we all know that, and I have to speak only on Mississippi because this is where my case is. So I can't speak to other states, but we all know what's been going on in Jackson, Mississippi. There is a lot of corruption in Jackson, Mississippi. They had a full backyard behind their jails of bodies that were people of families were looking for their loved ones, and they were in the backyard. Okay. This is who I'm dealing with. I think I really want to stress, you don't understand who I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with the DA's office, who is supposed to be prosecuting the girl who killed my sisters, and the private investigator who worked for them for many, many years, and even did so after he retired, worked for the DA. How am I going to get a fair trial when it's corruption? That's a conflict of interest. This girl is working for her attorney. That's a conflict of interest. It's not illegal, but it's conflict of interest. So I can't trust anyone. I need this case to be moved to a different county because this county is corrupt.
You know what? Jackson is the county where the state government has been running all of the law enforcement, and the black mayor has been complaining about it. Have you reached out to him?
He is on my list. I have the letter ready for him. I've actually called his office.
Because he's really upset about what they've been doing, because they took over. Remember, they took over his police department.
Yeah.
And he's really about that, because that's supposed to be in his purview.
And I've also reached out to Congressman Benny Thompson. So they keep saying they're going to get me on his schedule to talk. But see, this is the thing, y'all. I mean, you're talking about trying to reach politicians. They're so busy doing everything else. They don't really have a lot of time for little people like us until we are.
Hold on. Busy doing what? I'm just asking. Busy doing what? All right. We're going to end it off with that. Thank you, ladies, for doing the midweek jam. I didn't know it would happen that way, but it did happen. But again, thanks for taking the time. As always, we want you to share where you can reach out at. Laura Key.
I made it easy, y'all. I just put me in one big old place, so you can catch all my social medias, my blogs, my everything by just going to bit.ly/Laura Key Info.
Yeah, and I'm happy because I finally got it right. I put up on the screen correct. So I did something good. Aisha K.
You can find me on That's Not Me.
That's right. Well, I know that's not you. I got to.
You can find me at AK Staggers on Instagram or at Aisha Staggers on Twitter.
Yes, you and Twitter. What a love affair. But that's another conversation. All right, everybody. And with me, this is all the places you can get in touch with me. Website, the drvibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, the space dr period space vibe space show. Instagram at the drvibeshow.com, x/Twitter. Yeah, I am there at drvibeshow, and email dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. You can catch replays of this epic conversation at the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and the Dr. Vibe Show website, the drvibeshow.com. As always, I want to say thank you to everyone who watched this live or on the replay or listened to it on the replay. And you can also listen to audio versions wherever you are audio-wise platform. Replays are up there. But as always, I want to finish off with this. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and remember to give yourselves grace. Thank you for everyone who checked in on a Wednesday. The replay will be up soon. So though if you checked out on a Wednesday, thank you. But we will be back this Saturday. Internet willing and the ladies willing will be back. But I want to thank both of them for taking the time, because we don't usually do this. And as you heard, they got a lot going on. So make sure you give them respect. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith and support Lala.